Hey, FlimsyLunchTray here, and welcome to our Friday edition video. We're going to be featuring the Tier 8 Pan-American battleship, the Atlântico. This is all going to be live commentary. I'm recording this video on Thursday night. And so we're just going to roll with whatever battle results, terrible, fantastic, meh, however that goes, that's what we're going to roll with. So before we dive into battle real quick, I'll cover a lot of things tomorrow, more specifically on the ship. But the Atlântico is a brawling battleship. She's meant to get in close. She's got these really good armor, and she has these really interesting secondary guns. She's got these 234mm guns. They have a longer reload time, but what is unique also about them is that the damage they cause, maximum damage of 3,850, 21% chance of causing fire. So if you're going to start a fire with the Atlântico, it's going to come from your secondaries because you only get armor piercing with these 381mm guns. And you don't get a lot of access to consumables. I have a pretty standard secondary build going on. To show you my commander real quick, this is what I'm running so far. If you took concealment along with the camouflage, you would be able to get your detectability down quite low. There it is. 11.9, but if we throw a camouflage in there, you get down to 11.52. So your secondary range, 11.3. So you can really pull in close, but because the ship really revolves around secondaries, I wanted to go for a secondary build first. And then I'll probably do something like, could drop it down, but we'll see. Not at a 14-point commander yet. In terms of combat signals, to show you what I'm taking real quick. For not detonating, ram flag, help, reduce chances of, or fire extinguishing time reduced, flooding recovery time reduced, repair party. I take the India Delta because your speed is like 26.3 with Sierra Mike. Without it, you're just sitting at 25. So it's really nice to have secondaries and preparation and reload time of the ship consumables. So that's what I'm rocking with the Atlântico. I've played 4 or 5 battles with the ship already. Before I drop into a battle with a new ship, I just sit like for 5 minutes or so in port, and I'm just looking. I'm trying to examine the ship, try to get a good feel of her before I even go into battle. When you're even thinking about the maneuverability of the ship, the rudder shift time, and the turning radius, the closest ship that matches it is the Monarch, the Tier 8 British battleship. So I'm like, okay, then I know how to approach it. Atlântico has got a small superstructure. She revolves around the secondary guns. She only has armor piercing, these British-made 381mm guns on the ship. Not a lot of consumables going on. Her airstrike depth charge range is 10 kilometers, so that's nice. Something if you're comparing it to the Massachusetts, Massachusetts is only 5 kilometers. Her main battery, though, at Tier 8 is the lowest overall maximum damage. I think it's like 10,700, where a lot of other Tier 8s are, they're all higher than the Atlântico. I think, example, if we're comparing to Massachusetts again, you're looking at something like, I think it's over 13,000, if I'm not mistaken. She does have a long action time on her damage control party. And the concealment and the secondary battery with improved accuracy and range is really kind of the only things that are going in terms of the strength of the ship. But I do need to be fair and also, note the armor of the ship is pretty good, and so forth. So this is a Dockyard ship that I'm like, yeah, it's all right. It's all right. So bottom tier, typical. That's going to hurt us in terms of our main battery range. There's also carriers. There's no subs. Did I see Masaccio? Ooh, those torpedoes hurt. They only hit aircraft carriers and battleships, and they just smack so hard they can't hit destroyers or cruisers. So Kitakaze, he's in the division with the Brindisi and St. Louis. Edinburgh, we can definitely slap pretty hard with these AP guns if we get the broadside. Let's see, I think, Moggy, I was playing a ranked match, and Citadel has broadside at range, I'd say 14, 15 kilometers away, so that was nice. Iowa. So, okay, so it could be worse. So just what, tier 8s, tier 9s. Okay. So let's look at our positioning. We're going to go left. We're going to go towards the 7-8 line area, I believe, because they're a little weak on this flank over here. You can see Loyang, Congress, Vladivostok. Usually if I spawn in the middle, I try to support the flank that has, that's more weaker in general. That's what I really try to go for. Let's talk about the AA guns real quick. The AA is okay. There is definitely AA on tier 8 battleships that are worse than the Atlântico, for sure. I would say the AA is good. It's not like crazy impressive, anything like that. Is he gonna come in range? Get the AA, prioritize the AA sector. It's not like crazy, stunningly good. Yeah, watch my broadside here. But it's all right. It's just like Massachusetts, North Carolina, AA on those ships is better. And I'm turning in to see about avoiding these shots that look like they're just from a destroyer. Took a very long travel time. So the AA, it's okay. If you're facing tier 10 CVs, you're really going to struggle with your AA. I was playing against the Lexington, and it seemed like it was still kind of somewhat of a struggle in trying to do meaningful damage, trying to knock out the planes. I was divvied up with a clanmate. So that was a bit of a struggle. Your main battery range, I think we can see it here. 18.6. So not hot by any means. Could definitely be better. I think he just fired. I see smoke trails. Oh, I think he killed his throttle. Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and turn out. Ooh, Sashio. I don't want to go into that at all. So we're gonna keep turning because we definitely don't want to eat Sashio torpedoes. This is Zeiton. We're gonna cancel the rudder shift a little bit. He's kind of going, I think he's turning out a little bit. We're gonna raise that slightly higher. Because one deep water or two deep water torpedo sets. Let's see what we do here. Okay, not bad. Incapacitated a gun briefly. The Sashio definitely makes me nervous. We have two destroyers here. We do have the Loyang with his hydro, so I'm gonna move more towards where our Loyang is. So I can take advantage of his hydro. As I really don't want to be out alone. Okay, he's turning away. I think he's still going to kind of go this way. Okay, Palmer died quick. Yeah, he's still going to keep that angle. Okay, another nice little chip damage salvo. We still got to be mindful of this Amagi out here. He's not really interested in us. We have this Fletcher here. I think we'll try to go for Fletcher. He's reverse. Ooh. The Edinburgh's getting the best of me. Because we can definitely wreck him with his broadside. He's turning out now. I should have probably aimed for that a bit more. He was sailing straight for a while, so I thought he was going to kind of keep that course. So that's a bust. Our Sejong is pushing in. Loyang's moved up a bit more. So we're going to go ahead and keep pushing up. North Carolina's moving over here. So this is already not looking very good. A lot of these guys are rotating this way for some direction. And this flank, you can see there's 6 enemy ships right here. So that is not good at all. So this is probably, if things go well, we secure this flank and rotate around. Because basically we need to push through this flank because of how this is going on. So that was bad aim on my part. Because if we just keep it a stalemate and don't push through here, we're going to lose map control really quick. So it's important that you're paying attention to your mini-map throughout the game. As he eats a bunch of torps. Ooh, Sashio. Definitely going to shoot that. We're going to aim up a little high to an angle. He's not really ducking, dodging, weaving. As we gave him a nice bath. It's very nice to do that for ships in the game. Just splash them with seawater. I really appreciate it. Be mindful of the torpedo planes coming in. Okay, he's lit again. We're gonna spam the focus fire, because this guy needs to die, and we are gonna take that shot. Okay, he's dead. That is a very strong relief, and our CV guy needs to get over here ASAP. One of the things that annoys me most about carrier players in World of Warships is their lack of map awareness. I've played carriers, I don't play them that often in World of Warships, but to me, if you're a carrier player, when you're flying in between your strikes, I believe you have all the time in the world to be paying attention to this mini map, this big square at the bottom of your corner. You can make larger or smaller with a plus or minus key. And they just get caught out like this. I don't know if he's lit yet. He starts taking damage, we'll know he's lit. But they just get caught out in the open and take massive damage. I should have been paying attention to that. I was a little caught up trying to give you guys some pointers. So this is a problem. So we have the Titan moving in. We're gonna make sure we highlight him with secondaries. What I don't want to do is push in on this Titan, go around either side of the island, because he has torpedoes, and he will make us pay for it dearly. The Amagi to the north is a problem for us, so we're going to take a pot shot off at him. We're going to prioritize the A sector. The A gun range is 5.8. These are, I think, dual-purpose AA guns on the ship. The other set of secondaries besides the 2 and 34s are the 127 millimeter battery. This makes me nervous, because this just isn't ideal, because we don't have map control now by any means. You can see we've not even done a lot of damage in this game, and what did I tell you? Like, seriously, if you're, I'm sorry, but I'm very harsh on carrier players who are just not paying attention to the minimap. There's no excuse. I'm sorry, but there's just no excuse. I can't get behind that. So we did get a decent 10k salvo on the Iowa. They took care of the Titan, which is nice, so I'm going to give him a well done, because that was very helpful. We don't have to really worry about the Amagi right now. Amagi has gone behind the island. Our concealment's kind of working to our advantage here. I'm a little concerned about this guy. I still took the shot because I was confident I could get some hits. We did get some hits, but just ricochets. This is nice, you know, when the nice thing about if you do have HE, as he took a big hit, when you do have HE, you can deal better with these bow-in targets, if you will. I'm really curious if he's going to come out broadside, this Amagi here. I think at this point we're just going to get 0-pointed. So this just seems to be a bit of a blowout matchmaking. We're going to hold on to our shot. We're not going to... We don't actually have anyone in range anyhow. The Citadel, of course, is stretched out quite long on this ship. I mean, the whole length of the guns. From the front turrets to the rear turrets. Alright, we got to turn in immediately because of this Iowa, who's here behind this island, roughly. We don't want to be showing a bunch of broadside to him. It doesn't look like he's paying attention to us. It looks like CV is going to go for us, so we're going to try to keep turning somewhat. It's going to be frustrating because he has a very good turning radius. He's turning in towards us, so we're going to drop it down a little low. We're going to use, keep taking advantage of the turn. Maybe we only take one here, if we're lucky. No, we're going to take two. I have to be conscious because I don't want to overcorrect, oversteer, and then end up eating a whole salvo from the Amagi. That would not be good. So fire prevention is really needed. I took a lot of damage in earlier games just because of not having fire prevention. You do have decent gun... I'm going to cancel that turn. Okay, could have been worse. We're going to burn the heal. You do have decent Fletchers coming in. Yeah, we're just gonna focus on the DD. Decent gun angles, so that's nice. Benson's gonna chime in here. We're gonna just keep our main guns focused on the Iowa here in front of us. These, wow, see that? Yeah, so we have no map control. Okay, so he decided to go dark. Maybe we focus on this other DD here. Double fire, we're gonna DCP that. If his guns are reloaded, we could take a decent pounding here. That's just, yeah, go those back in. Yeah, these guys definitely gonna be an issue for us. That's because we'd have no map control. So as soon as I die here, we're probably going to go down. One of the reasons I popped the heal earlier is because I wanted to see about having my damage control party back online sooner rather than later. We're going to kill the throttle. Okay, we did get a Citadel hit on Iowa. I mean, he was broadside right in front of us. So, let's see, 83,000 damage, 14 aircraft shot down. See, secondaries starting fires for us. And even though this is a secondary battleship, we didn't really actually get a lot of secondary damage or secondary ribbon hits, so. And second on the team. Yeah, that's gonna happen. Yeah, that was just awful. 57, okay. Let's see, fires, 2,500. HE shells, 9,000 damage from the secondary battery. The secondary shells on the 234mm guns have really good pin. I'll show you here in just a minute. Fires in total, we only did 3,945. Okay. Yeah, I think. Yeah, see, I mean, our secondaries are doing decent against that Fletcher pushing in. I think we caused him to smoke up, was it? Or was it the Benson? Can't remember there at the end. Yeah, so let me show you the pin damage on these secondary guns real quick. Let's see. The other 234mm, they have 59mm penetration capacity, which is actually pretty good. I think they compare these guns to like the Cheshire. It's the British cruiser guns, if I'm not mistaken. So, but yeah, they have a longer reload time. So your 127mm are the ones that are kicking more in there, and it's just these guys here, not in a casemate. Okay, so let's throw that camouflage back on. Should have had that enabled. Taking this one because I get 100% Commander XP. I don't really want to burn my good Commander XP camos. I was doing that earlier, but so I would say Atlantico in some regards reminds me of playing the FDG Grosse Occur first, or maybe I should just say Brawling battleships in general. At the higher tier, because a lot of these plays with Brawling battleships since the Commander rework of 10.0 is that it's harder to push. That really changed and affected the meta, and I'm specifically, if you were newer here, I'm talking about the skill of Deadeye, which basically gave you better accuracy if you were dark. You were undetected, so a lot of ships would just play on the back spawn. And if you pushed in, because people wanted to save their precious Deadeye to have that skill activated, they would just run from you. So it was hard to have those really good games that are brawling. And then they nerfed secondaries really bad, and that was just terrible. It made me really frustrated. I stopped playing Massachusetts a lot after that 10.0. But what I want to say here is really, I think to get the most use out of your secondaries with Atlantico is it's kind of playing for the last half of the battle. First half of the battle, you're probably going to be playing maybe more passive, maybe that I find myself generally playing that 15-12 kilometer range, mid-range, because then I can get to go dark because of my concealment, especially if I make it max concealment to get it down to 11.5. And then the last half of the battle, then pushing in and having a greater effect. So you don't expect high damage numbers the first half of the battle with the Atlântico, especially since you have access to HE. You're not going to be setting a lot of fires. That's only your secondaries are going to do that. So most of my damage when I'm playing the Atlântico, unless there's just some dumb cruisers showing a lot of broadside, a lot of my damage comes the last part of the battle. And you kind of saw that with the last game, you know, as I pushed in, I was like, oh, only 14k damage. Okay, so we have arms race. We are top, no, we are mid-tier, that's what I was trying to say. Because we have Fiji 7. So we have CVs again, no submarines. They have a hybrid battleship. He's got planes, rocket planes specifically. We spawned in the middle. So we're going to go to the 2-3 line area. If you're wondering my process when I'm playing a game, because there's more of you are subscribing, we have more newer people here, and it's been a while since I've touched on this. When the battle's loading and you're about to drop in, I'm just sitting there just studying what ships the enemy team has, what ships the enemy team has. And I was doing the intermediate player guide series. I was talking about which ships have hydro, which ones have radar, right? So if first thing I'm usually looking for, okay, CV, no submarines, all right, radar. They have a Baltimore, 10 kilometer, Indianapolis. I think it does have radar. Is it 7.5 or 8? I'm a little fuzzy on Indianapolis. Don't see it too often in randoms. So those are the only two ships that definitely have a radar. Xi and Yang can mount radar in exchange of giving up its smoke. It's a 7.5 kilometer radar. I've done some radar gameplay. Xi and Yang you can find on the channel. Kagero, he's gonna be stealthy. He's probably gonna use his torps. Got a bit of gunboat kamikaze here. Adriatico, it's the tier 9 Italian destroyer. So he's got that smoke screen. I don't remember the name of it. It's this exhaust smoke generator, so he can just be really he can push in YOLO. He's got his really fast engine boost. Fiji, we slap. Indianapolis, Colorado, Baltimore, Colorado. We get some good pin damage on him. Zeiton, Kearsarge, of course, he has a huge upper structure. We are detected, so it tells me there's probably a destroyer coming from one of these two, probably this one. Buffs. Arms race, for some reason Wargaming decided it'd be a good idea if they introduced arms race into random battles. Yeah, there's a DD down there. And you basically have to go for these buffs, okay? They do different things. We got increased health pool. He picked up a reload, so reload time on armaments is much more quicker. We're gonna watch this Fiji. He's smoking up, but we might get lucky here. Okay, Adriatico's over there. We're gonna go for a smoke fire here. Normally I like to have, well, never mind. We should go for the Xi and Yang. Normally I like to have, we're gonna ripple fire this. Normally to do smoke fire, I like to be able to have spotter plane, so then I can elevate higher and see where he is roughly in the smoke. It's a bit harder to do that without. Oh, come on, keep shooting. Oh, you got him. We're gonna give him a Wells done. But with that, Xi and Yang still is important to knock out that destroyer, because then we can go for this buff. And I'm going to support the Akazuki on that. So it's more important to finish off that Xi and Yang than try to just go for a blind fire on the Fiji, who's now dead to Jutland torps because smokescreen attract torpedoes. If you're also wondering why I cut throttle back there, is because when I was lit, I was pretty sure there was a destroyer down here, which there ended up being one. In case he threw torpedoes, I decided it was best to just cut the throttle, dodge maybe any torpedoes he fired at us, ahead of us. So explain decision there. So I'm going to work closely with this Akazuki. I can also do this a bit more just because of our concealment. 12.8 is, I do recommend going for concealment export because you get to drop down 11.5 and then your secondary start firing at 11.3. But with planes flying around, we're probably gonna get lit here shortly. This is Magi showing a lot broadside. We're gonna spam the M key, gonna go for preemptive shot. I think he's turning out, so I tried to aim high. Yeah. But see, because I fired before he came up behind the island, we stayed dark. But we didn't have the most accurate salvo. We can also use our mini-map, little aiming reticle, to help guide our aim. Baltimore showing broadside. I don't think I can lob shells over that island. And he's very much behind that tall island. Alright, so Magi's a little distracted with the torpedoes coming in on him. He's going to turn. So our CV is going to help create some broadside opportunities for us, so we're going to take advantage of that. 2 overpins. We're going to keep angled in. Amagi's got these 410mm guns, so okay, that was definitely aimed low. I'm not moving that fast. He's probably not used to the ships in the game yet, or just because, you know, 26.3 with Sierra Mike flag, it's pretty slow. But he's getting really close to being in our secondary range, so we're definitely going to go ahead and left control select him. I don't even know what's happening in chat. That's a decent damage number. I guess I'd say the bonus of only being firing AP is, you know, you're always gonna have AP loaded in case the ship shows broadside to you. So that's nice, but sometimes it can be frustrating. Your AP shells will definitely struggle against Russian battleships, so like Lenin, Vladivostok, Sovietsky Soyuz, Kremlin. Because a lot of those ships you just have to focus with your HE. See what Balti's doing. Yeah, see, he has greater speed, so he's just going to be able to outrun our secondaries, but we're going to keep shooting him. I think we get torpedo hit or 2 here. Let's prioritize this AA sector. We know he's going to straighten out because of the torps, so we'll aim so accordingly. Probably going to get set on fire here. Yep. I think we're just going to go ahead and use the damage control party. Reload time's down to 27. Okay, he's still hardcore looking at us. He's got his heel going. I'm gonna go behind this island here.
Torpedoes to starboard.
Yes. So one of the things I was unsure about is if I did try to use the repair party. Okay, he's literally right there. Oh, this is frustrating. If I try to use repair party, he might come in for another strike, which, I mean, you see him kind of doing again. Wait for the AA sector. Come on. 2 seconds. We're going to turn out here. I'm being mindful this Baltimore might just pop up on us. I wanted to have the guns more looking forward. Yeah, see, CV's right there. So when you start getting close to CV, they really want to focus you hardcore. Alright, the thing about arms race is you really need to be focusing on the key area that spawns into the battle. I should probably prioritize A sector, the wrong side. Because that's really important when the time comes. Say support our Akazuki. I said that the damage control party lasts longer on the, it's more than your standard, so 20 seconds. So that's actually quite nice. Okay, we're gonna help our guy out here. Kearsarge showing us a nice flat broadside. Didn't lead enough. Yeah, that was pretty sad. Prioritize AA. Your sergeant's gonna go into the smoke. We pay attention to where his guns are looking. Oh. We also get a health buff. Yeah, he's not gonna show me more broadside. Okay, he's flying his planes right now, so we don't have to worry about any incoming shells from him right now as an example. 16,000. Nice.
All stations reporting the position.
He's probably trying to light the Akazuki for his Kitakaze friend. So, sadly we're not going to be able to do much more, but our secondary is about to kick in here. Okay, is he going to keep turning and go broadside? That's the question. If so, we're going to hold the shot. We're going to go ahead and take that one, and then we'll have one up in 25, so. Because I can't imagine him turning the whole circle. I mean, it's possible. Like, that's for sure. So we'll probably delete him in the next salvo. If someone doesn't kill him before us. So he's taking back control of his ship. He's like, oh my gosh, I was showing way too much broadside. And Baltimore's showing complete broadside. So he got very lucky with that. Like, extremely lucky. Okay, key area. It's important. Being with the Baltimore helps in terms of the AA, so I'm going to try to stick close to him. These two guys are going to have to come back if they want any part of this. He probably needs to back off. He shouldn't be pushing in more like that. So yeah, here comes the CV strike. We'll keep the guns facing the right side right now. I don't want to push out the Colorado. I want to use the island. Keep the island between me and the Colorado, if possible. So I can engage these guys down here if they come back up. So we're going to start reversing, actually. Okay, he didn't end up going for us. Yeah, he just took a chunk of damage. Or, what we could do is we can go and actually turn broadside, turn left here, and we would definitely want to fight with Colorado. But CV will be striking us on the side over here. So that's going to be a bit of a pain. And I keep mindful of my side to the VIII and the Baltimore. Very much so. Looks like CV's going to come this way. But our health, we're decent right now with health. We're decent. He's just trying to line up a strike on us. Yeah, I'm just going to... There's the VIII. Yeah, this is going to be a pain. Double fire. No, thank you. Yeah, this is tough. We're going to focus the Baltimore. Colorado does have some hard-hitting guns, so the last thing I want to do is go full on broadside. But what we got to do is we got to pick an angle to turn in. So we're going to go ahead and turn in towards the Colorado. We got to nose in towards him because we can't angle both, so we just gotta. Yeah, he's gonna be dumpstered. Okay, let me keep the secondaries, keep focusing him. This is actually turning out to be an alright battle. Come on, secondaries. He's getting a heal off. We gotta finish this guy. Oh, it's not a heal, it's just the. Okay, cool. Ooh, can we get double strike? No. It's just the repair party buff. I do want to be sailing away from the VIII because I don't want to deal with his torps. Okay, man. Yeah, this is going to be a problem. Good. Torpedo planes coming in. We're gonna nose in. VIII looks like he's gonna turn back and look at us. Confederates. We'll have It's still kind of a run for the money, if you will. Although we're gonna lay secondary range on the VIII. So, but we're gonna enter it on this guy. With him sailing in towards us, it's going to be shortening his time. We actually have secondary battery reticle up. So we're gonna pick up that other HP regeneration buff. It's gonna be real nice. I don't know how much damage we're gonna do into him as he's running in towards us. One of the things, he's probably panicking right now because he's getting really close to me. I have a 200k damage gain. But that's a bit of a pain. So we just knocked out our engine, but we're not gonna DCP. We're gonna, there it is. We wanna keep all of our main battery on him. At this range, our penetration should be pretty decent. It's long lasting. We don't have any more heals. Come on. Let's go. Okay, he probably is just gonna kill us here.
We've sunk an enemy aircraft carrier.
No. Well, we're gonna eat 2. Oh. 223,000 damage. But the arms race, the buffs really actually help with that because it buffs the reload time. We're doing more damage with our main battery. Yeah, 12,840. We really are going to have a difficult time if the VIII pushes back in to deal with this. Because I can't turn away from this. Switch, push C, switch to the rear turret. We're gonna pop a shot before he gets around the island here. Front turret's probably gonna impact the island, but I don't know how many shells we actually got through. Yeah, that's nothing. The goal is really right now we wanted to see about living, but I think we're gonna be alright. Alright, let's slow down in case he decides to turn into the island and we can't get a damage salvo in. Did I aim too low? Okay, 225, 225, let's go. Alrighty. This actually wasn't bad live commentary. It's nice to actually have a really good battle for once doing live commentary, right? Oh, 839,000 credits, 8,600 experience, 1,800 free XP. We got Confederate. We got Close Quarters ×2. Definitely got the Dreadnought. And High Caliber. 225,000 damage. Secondaries definitely got more use out of them this match with the fires. He destroyed, 21 planes shot down. Spotted, buffs picked up. We're gonna top the team with 2,500 base XP. We definitely want to compliment this Akazuki player. He played really well. I wasn't paying attention to see quite how these other guys were doing, but yeah. So we were able to exert our influence pretty well, I think, this match. How much damage do our secondaries do? 25. Wow. Yeah, so him pushing in like that, secondaries definitely going to do more damage in our AP shells, especially with how big a carrier is when he's pushing in like that. And, you know, the penetration capacity, like we was talking about, we have with those 2 and 34 millimeter is really going to come handy there. We set 1 fire, but, you know, 0 fire damage. Kearsarge, yeah, secondaries got in. He didn't really respect. He kind of derped sitting broadside, or pulling that broadside maneuver there at the end. 21 secondary battery hits, and those alone did 10,000 damage. Amagi, got some fire damage out of him, Satan. So yeah, so we made a notable impact in on this battle. Killing him at the beginning was huge because I didn't want to have to keep dealing with his deep water torpedoes. Imagine if we ate one of his deep water torpedoes, we would have died earlier in the game and not been able to exert influence. That's why it was important for us to go ahead and focus him and not try to take a blind shot at a Fiji, even though it's very easy to finish off a broadside or a Fiji in general who just has very paper thin armor basically. So this is the Atlântico. Tomorrow we'll do the upgrade commander build. I have a really good feel for the ship. I haven't played a lot of battles in it, but when you just kind of understand, like, oh, it's got good armor. It's about secondaries. It has good concealment. We can get down 11.5. You know, so it's really working that early game, that 12 to 15. I mean, maybe you get in the secondary range a bit, but not typically. If you try to do that in the first half of the game, you're just gonna get focused down and die. So it's waiting for that last half of the battle. So, you know, we were pretty much doing really good on that flank. I mean, the Zeiton and Baltimore ran away, so I was like, well, I'm not going to chase them. I'm slower, basically, than both of them combined. So we're going to go towards the cap and help out. So I hope this just gives you a good feel for Atlântico. How do I think of her as a ship overall? She's good. I don't think she's a crap Dockyard ship. I don't think she's a fantastic Dockyard ship. She definitely has some different things going on, and I'll get in a little more details on that tomorrow. Being a Pan-American battleship, she's not cut from the same cloth like a lot of other ships gone. She's got a mix of things going on with her. So if you liked today's game, make sure to give a thumbs up. If you didn't, give a thumbs down. Subscribe if you do want to see more. If you're subscribed, thanks so much. I really appreciate it. And I hope you consider supporting the channel. Just do subscribing, liking, interacting with the channel. We recently passed 900 subscribers, so thanks so much for that. When we hit 1,000, we're going to have a giveaway. Going to give away the USS Kidd, doubloons, 30 days of premium time. So just been fun growing this community with all of you. So until next time, take care.